All right, so we're going to go ahead and get started. So again, these are going to be gentle movements, gentle for me, which you might find they're not so gentle for you, but that's what we want to find out and explore. So what we're going to do is standing on one leg, we're going to stand and just bring the opposite leg forward, keeping that knee straight, kneecap pointing forward, toes pointing forward. And then we're going to bring it back. We're going to stay with the same leg, just rotating the toes and knee out and bringing that leg forward once again. We're just holding these for a few seconds and then back. And now we're going to switch legs, keeping this left leg, knee straight, toes pointing forward, just nice and gentle. Seeing what's the first thing that stops your motion. And then we'll bring that leg back, rotate the toes and knee outward, and bring the leg forward. Trying to stand as tall as you can from the bottom of your foot to the crown of your head, but the shoulders relaxed. And then bring that left leg back. Now what we're going to do is we're going to lean onto the right leg, and you're going to take the left leg out to the side. So right now, my left leg is moving inside of my hip socket. And it's just swinging nice and smooth with a little bit of speed. Then we're going to switch legs. So now you're going to lean on the left and let the right leg swing. And everything else is trying to stay nice and stable. I'm not trying to move my shoulders or my head. Now, I'm going to bring my feet about hip width apart. And I'm not going to let my hips move inside of my leg bones move inside of my hips. I'm going to keep that the same. I'm going to let my head and shoulders rock side to side. Now I'm preventing motion inside of my hip joint and allowing my whole torso to move. And we're just holding for getting to a nice pause, proving that you have control and ownership of these positions. And relax, kind of march it out. All right, so now we're going to do a single leg stand and push the leg back. Like I'm standing up nice and tall. I'm just going to bring that leg forward and then just push that knee, foot back. Like if there's a wall behind me, I'm trying to push the wall with my foot, my heel. Bring that leg back up and then back down. All right, we'll switch sides. Take that foot back. Squeezing that glute. Bring that leg forward and then right back. Bring it back. One more. Think about you pushing that heel back towards the wall. And relax, shake it out. All right, now we're going to do some stuff for the arms. So here we're going to reach both hands up towards the ceiling. Thumbs going back like you're making a V with your hands, elbows straight. Fingertips towards the ceiling, but you're also trying to drop the shoulders. I don't have my shoulders up here near my ears. I'm trying to let the fingertips go as high as they can with my shoulders down. And then I'm going to sweep those hands back and through. Keep those elbows extended. And then slowly reaching back forward. And then the thumbs are pointing back behind me. Hands out wide. Sweeping those hands back forward, back and down. We're going to do one more. Reaching those hands, sweeping forward. Thumbs going back, fingertips towards the ceiling. And then back down. Okay, now we're going to bend the elbows. You're going to bring the elbows and the upper arms parallel to the floor. You're going to take your elbows out wide, palms facing forward. And then we're going to squeeze the forearms towards each other. Squeeze, push those hands and forearms together. Bring them back out to about the rib cage. Elbows back. Keeping those elbows bent, you're pushing your elbows behind you. Bring those hands back up parallel to the floor, and then back out wide. Squeeze together. And back down. Do that one more time. Holding those elbows bent. You're going to bring it forward, out wide. And then bring those forearms and hands together, squeeze in the middle. Then relax and back down, shake it out. All right, so now we're going to go ahead and move down to the floor for a couple things. So here what we're going to do is we're just going to, and kind of leaning back through the hips. I'm not sitting up over the top of my hips. I'm keeping that hip space open. And you're just going to slowly rotate this femur inside of that hip socket. So you're just going to let that leg rotate inward and then rotate outward. And you're trying to keep the knee straight. My knee, as I rotate it, it wants to bend a lot. And I'm having to work a lot harder to just keep that leg engaged to keep the knee straight. Then I'll switch legs. You'll get more motion with the rotation out. All right, there you go. And then you're going to just point the toes away, and then you're going to pull the toes up. Move it through the ankles, push the toes down, pull the toes back up. And when I'm thinking about pushing the toes down, I'm also thinking about squeezing the top of my heel back towards my calf. So even though my toes are going away, I'm thinking about pulling that heel back up towards my body. So it's about not only how far away can my toes get, but how close can that heel get pulled back up towards their head. And then relax. And now I'm pulling the toes up, and how far away can I push my heel away from my body? And then I'm going to push the toes. And then pull the toes up, heels away. All right, now we're going to do one leg at a time. We're going to do some rotation of the lower legs. We're going to rotate the foot inward, hold there, and then you're going to slowly keep the toes in contact with the floor. Rotate the foot outward, hold there. And what you're trying to do is you're trying to keep your heel aligned with your knee and hip. You don't want those all moving around, or as you rotate for your foot to be moving off the mat or in a different position of the mat. So hold those extremes for a couple seconds, slowly rotating back across, keeping the toes in contact. When you rotate inward, it's the bottom part of the foot and the inside part of the leg. When you rotate outward, it's the outside part of the leg. It will switch. So again here, really paying attention, keeping that knee, hip, and heel aligned. Rotating the foot inward, keeping the toes down. Rotate back out. And then rotate back across. Just feeling how far can you go before your body's irritation happens, or you feel any cramping. Rotate that leg outward. You want to avoid any cramping. Rotate back in. And rotate back out. All right, now we're going to do some lying down stuff. So what we're going to do here is you're going to take your left leg out first, and you're going to slide your right leg across to it, squeezing it just gently, and then take that right leg back out, and then slide it back to that left. So everything, my lower half of my body is just off to the left side of my upper body. And then I'm bringing that right leg back out to neutral, and then back across. Taking it back out. And then I'm going to switch. So then I'm going to bring both legs back to the middle of the mat. I'm going to take the right leg out to the side, and I'm going to squeeze the left leg across. And then slide it back out to neutral, and then back in and hold. exploring which side do you feel like maybe there's a hitch or a stop in one motion before the other side. Does one side feel harder to move or you have to think about it more? Now we're going to go to hip rotation. So now we're going to think about the pant leg does not move or the knee relative to where it is aligned with the ceiling. And we're just going to rotate the foot in and then take it back out. So when the foot is out, it's internal rotation. And then when we take it across the body, it's external. And when I take it external, I'm thinking about holding that left leg across, kind of almost squeezing them together. And relax, we'll switch sides. And then bring it across. And back to an external hip. And here I like to think about even putting more effort into that straight leg, just maintaining that it's staying straight, trying to extend through that heel, through the foot. One more pass to the external, and then we'll bring it back to the internal. All right. So next, we're going to come up to the tabletop position. And what we're going to do is we're going to do one leg at a time. You're going to bring the heel up towards the butt, up towards the hamstring. One leg at a time, just relaxing, pulling up. You play with pulling the toes towards the knee or pointing the toes away from the knee. And then just relax that foot back down and pull it back up. So here I'm going to squeeze and do some ankle motions as I squeeze the back of that leg, trying to get that heel as close to the thigh as possible. And now we'll do the other side. Let's just squeeze it up, and then I'm going to relax that. That opens up that space. Then I'm going to squeeze, and I'm going to do some change of the ankle positions. And then relax that leg down, and we'll do one more. And you're exploring how do the sensations change while squeezing everything in the back when you've got the toes pointed down towards the knee versus when you have the toes pointed away. And then relax, shake it out. We're going to stay in this tabletop position. And what we're going to do is we're going to lift the arm up towards the ceiling. And this is really good for that stabilizing arm. And then we're going to bring that arm back down, reach through. And you're not trying to stretch really far. You're just finding out how far can you go before the body wants to move through other areas. So it's like, how far can I reach through before I have to let everything else give away, and I'm not allowing it to give away. And I'm reaching back up. And we're going to switch arms. Start taking that thumb up towards the ceiling. And then we're reaching back through. And then back up. And then back down. And then back up. All right, then reach back. And up. Now, what we're going to do is you're going to drop down to your forehead. So one hand is going to go on the back of your forehead. You're bringing the hand up to the side. And what we're going to do here is we're going to lift the elbow up. So the hand is going to float off the ground. And then I'm just trying to, with my elbow and forearm, upper arm off the ground, I'm going to try to get my hand and wrist even and slightly above it. It's not just a presidential primary, it's also a municipal and statewide election days actually in the law. But just one side at a time. This Tuesday in April is so Then we'll do the other side. And again, that elbow to the upper arm are elevated off the ground, and just the hand comes back down in contact. And then you're bringing it back level or even above it. Let that hand rest down. Then we're going to go back to the right arm. Palm is down. And you're lifting up the hand and arm towards the ceiling. And relax. Once again. This time you're going to keep the hand on the ground and you're just going to reach your shoulder back. So you're just trying to think about creating space with that shoulder. And then relax. So we'll switch arms. Hand along your side, thumb out. We're going to lift that hand and forearm up. And you relax. You're going to extend back up. So here you're trying to lift the whole arm, shoulder, everything back up. And then relax. And now keep the hand down, just the shoulder. And relax. All right. Now we're going to move back to a seated position. And we're going to do what we consider this like cannonball crunch. We're going to bring both legs in, and you're going to bring your head up. It's almost like a modified child's pose. So I'm doing it actively. I'm thinking about pulling my knees towards my head towards my knees, really using my abs, my hip flexors. I'm using my forearms to push my legs away, and then I'm going to relax. And I'm going to come back up into position once again. Squeeze those abs. Everything is trying to get towards the middle. And then relax. All right, we're going to do one more. Good. All right. And now we're going to lie on your side, and we're going to do a hip bridge or a side plank bridge. So what we're going to do is you're going to lift up, and you're just trying to get that hip towards the ceiling as high as you can. If you want, you can lift the top leg. You don't have to. And then we're going to drop that hip down. We're going to lift back up and hold. And then back down. All right, here we go. Up once again. And relax. We'll switch sides. All right, so we're going to lift up again. You can lift that top leg if you want. I'm going to keep it a little lighter. Just worry about the bottom half stuff. Keep the awareness to that. Relax those hips, drop it back down. Then lift back up. And then relax. Last one, up and hold. Here you're trying to keep that shoulder, hip, and knee and foot all aligned. A lot of times people's hips end up behind the knee. You're really trying to stay right aligned with it. And then go ahead and relax. A couple more movements. We're going to do arm across the body. And I'm just blocking with the opposite hand. And then relax. Bring the arm back up and across. So my action is pushing that way. Last one for the side. This is what the election is going to be about in November. You can see the Biden campaign already. And relax. Okay, we'll switch sides. President, one is he will say of the president, too chaotic. It's too. And then we'll relax. We'll come up and across. And relax. Last one. Up and across. And relax. So now we can just lie here with your hands up to the ceiling. Corpse pose or Shavasana. Just relaxing, allowing everything to melt into the floor. Palms facing up. Everything that was just contracted, allowing it to relax. Hopefully some things are awakened and tingling that they weren't before. Got blood flow going throughout the body. So you should be able to relax and rest in that position. It's a nice way to end a nice workout. So hopefully you enjoyed that. So,
Thanks, Nick.
thank
Thanks,
you.
Nick.
See you ladies soon.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Tomorrow morning.